Antonin for the segment. And again, I hope people understand that, Tone. It's not just about guys playing a position. It's that when you're overpaying someone and you're not getting value out of that position, and you see other positions on the team that could have been addressed with some of the money, like the Slay money, for instance, paying him $13 million, you could have got a rookie corner like they did in Kansas City last year and put a rookie corner there, put him on a rookie contract, taking that $14 million and spread it around on 2 linebackers. That's why sometimes I try to explain to people, if you're going to talk about building a roster, money has to be the second most important thing to talent and how you keep a cap.
Absolutely. The bottom line is, it's called the sports industry for a reason. And trust me, industry always comes before sports. So if the money don't make sense, best believe these organizations are going to do everything possible to make sure it does make sense. And Howie Roseman is the king of making the dollars make sense. It's so funny, since we're talking about the DBs, right, and positional spending, let me break something down for you real quick in terms of the Philadelphia Eagles positional spending for the 2023 season. So we're going to rank them, from most expensive to least expensive in terms of the percentage of the cap. For the Philadelphia Eagles in 2023, their offensive line accounts for 17.9% of their cap space. That's ranked 10th in the NFL. Their defensive line makes up 15.6% of their total cap. That's ranked 11th in the NFL.
So let me get this right. You got almost. So what was the percentage again for both lines?
So offensive line, let's just round it up to 18%. So okay, so offensive line, 18% of your cap.
What's the D line?
And D line is just over 15%.
So you're almost at basically 35% of your cap in your lines, which is outstanding.
Yep, I'm about to take it to another level though, and this is gonna prove your point about the secondary and actually getting value out of it. The Eagles secondary is the third most expensive position group on the team. The secondary, and that includes corner, slot, safety, all those guys. All their contracts combined make up 12.5% of the cap, which is ranked 18th in the NFL. So when you consider it against, or when you compare it against the rest of the NFL, the Eagles are making it all right at that position, from fiscally. But still, when you factor in the age of the guys and how much money you give them up front, as of right now, this season, the Eagles are spending $29.3 million on 14 corners, and 14 corners and safety.
How much money?
A grand total of $29.3 million between 14 players.
Okay, well, 13 is with 13 and 13, so 26 million are with 2 guys.
Correct, and I can actually get you more detail on that. When it comes to the 2 guys you're talking about, Darius Slay. Okay, so Darius Slay's contract for this season accounts for $11.8 million against the cap. That's 5% of the team's total cap. And James Bradberry has $3 million counting against the Eagles cap space this season, which is only $1.3 million. So between Darius Slay and James Bradberry this season, there is a total of $14.8 million counting against the cap this season.
How much in salary between both guys? Because there's a 218 salary cap too. So between those 2 guys, how much money are they making combined as a base salary, as a collective, what they'll make in 2023?
Okay, so let me pull it up for you right now. I have it right here. So Darius Slay for the season, he's due to make $11.35 million. So $11.3 million.
Okay.
He's due to make that this season. And James Bradberry, he's due to make $9.3 million this year.
So you got $20 million lined up in those 2 corners.
Yes,
are you
correct.
getting value out of that?
As of right now, if you ask me, definitely not from James Bradberry. In terms of Darius Slay,
yeah,
I think
I'm not horrible on that.
I'm not mad about that number, But Bradberry, he's playing like a rookie out there, if I'm being honest. And you brought up a good point about is he having a Super Bowl hangover? You know, I can't say that he's not.
And what I meant by that, people go like this: do you think he's sitting around moping about? No, I'm talking about how Reed ran crossing routes on him, and other teams saw that on how to attack him. And I don't know, Tone, but since the Super Bowl in Arizona, I've watched that guy play almost the same exact type of ball game. And when they run crossing routes on him, he seemingly struggles. And they were doing that in New England, and Washington did that to him. Shit, the Jets even did that to him a little bit. And I'm going like this: holy cow, man, these two guys are not press corner guys. Slay, if you really look at it and go back and analyze him, you're not mad at him.
Right.
You know, I'm get this. I thought it was more him, but it's not.
Yeah. On the season right now, I mean, Darius Slay's not having the greatest season by any stretch, but right now, according to PFF, he has an average overall grade of 65.5. So that's definitely below his standard. But
it's middle of the league.
It's like middle of the league. It's just above middle of the league. It's just above average, if you ask me. You know what I mean? Now, James Bradberry, on the other hand, that's where things get a little tricky, because James Bradberry has been a liability out there, if you ask me. James Bradberry, his overall grade amongst corners is a 58. So he hasn't really been good at all. That's just a sad reality.
And that's a guy you tried building, and that's a guy you want to go forward with, trying to build your secondary around.
That was the plan. The plan was to eventually. I think Howie's plan was to bring Bradberry and Slay back together for one more year, let Slay walk, keep Bradberry for an additional season, and then let Bradberry walk at the end of the 2024 season. That's what I thought was going to happen. I thought he was going to try to stagger those guys and then try to replace them one by one. But it's looking like it's going to be the opposite. It's looking like Slay's going to probably be the one here for an additional year, and Bradberry, they're going to find a way out of that Bradberry contract. But that's just how it looks now. That's how it looks now.
I completely agree. I brought another topic up in the first hour. Are both coordinators' jobs safe?
No, not at all. Not at all. And this isn't like a personal attack or anything. This is just the fact of the matter is, right, it's an evaluation. And I feel like as Eagles fans, we should always be evaluating this team, because we spend hard-earned money going to the games. We spend hard-earned money on parking. We spend hard-earned money on concessions. We spend hard-earned money on gear. And I think fans need to really sit back and really think about that kind of investment that they put into their own franchises, right? So often we think about the money the teams are spending on players. How much are you spending to watch these guys? You dig what I'm saying? How much are you spending to watch mediocre football or watch great football? You dig me? So as much as we love our fan base, we got to always think about what we're putting into it as well. You talked about it earlier. Do we really enjoy games? Like are we having heart attacks when we watch? You know what I mean? The bottom line is, we as fans, we may not be out there sacrificing our bodies. And, the fact that these guys are out there playing, their tails off, I respect that to the highest degree. But, that's their life and not mine. My life is a fan. My life is a spectator. And as a spectator, I think it's important for us to understand.
Your life is also as a taxpayer if you live in Philly. Because you know why? When they want to have retrofitting or they want to do uptake and upkeep in that stadium, and that city and those people want to go like this, I need $300 million on retrofitting Lincoln Financial. You guys open up your checkbooks and write it. So you are a vested stockholder, so to speak, in that company.
Absolutely. So, I want fans to kind of look at it more like that and, just understand, what really goes into it. But shoot, what was your original question, Sales? My bad.
No, I'm talking about, like, when you look at the how you look at these coordinators.
Right. Are
these coordinators' jobs safe?
No, they're not safe. And we should always be evaluating those guys. And so far, yesterday, me and Rob Ellis on Sports Take, we graded the coaches. And so far through 9 games, all things considered, if I'm not mistaken, I think I gave both of the coordinators like B- or something like that. Like borderline C+ B-, if I'm not mistaken. Because Sean Desai, actually, you know what? I know that I gave Sean Desai a B. I gave Sean Desai a B because of everything he had to battle on that side of the ball. injuries, the scheme that he's been asked to run. On top of that, he's just been having to shuffle guys in left and right. Then as far as Brian Johnson goes, I think I gave him like a B- because he started off very, very, very slowly. Over the past few weeks, he's really elevated in my opinion. He started to show more creativity in the red zone, and the red zone efficiency has significantly improved. I think
Except
the
for the
Eagles right
fourth
now,
against the Cowboys.
yeah, he had a moment. He had a moment where he regressed a little bit. Otherwise, it probably would have been a solid B. But I give him a B- because the team is 8-1. Jalen Hurts seems like he's beginning to settle into this pure passer role. Over the past 3 games, I think he has 8 touchdowns, 1 interception, like 800 plus yards, has like 125 or 130 passer rating. So I gave Brian Johnson a B-, again, simply because he started off very slowly. I had questions about his decision making. That Cowboys fourth quarter kind of put a sour taste in my mouth a little bit. So I gave those guys like a B-, B respectively.
How about
So
this?
their jobs aren't safe, by the way. It's a lot of time left in the season for them to screw up. So their jobs
You're
are not safe
halfway
at
to
all.
the parade. That's why. Here's something you got to always take into account with these new coordinators too this year compared
Yep.
to a year ago. Last year, or actually, if you want to go back to 2020, and you go or 2021 probably, when they came in, when Gannon and Steichen came in, they installed these systems. These were not Doug Peterson's systems.
Correct.
These were their systems. So, Tone, when I'm the architect of something and I build something, and then I'm asking another guy to go in and retrofit it in the same it's like asking Picasso, you to go in and paint the same Picasso painting, and you wanting that to look the same exact way. It's never going to look the same exact way. You're asked to come in and you're asked to coordinate Jonathan Gannon's defense. Sean Desai is being asked to run Gannon's defense, okay, with some twists on it, with lesser guys in the secondary and underachieving guys at the corners. Brian Johnson doesn't really have an excuse, okay, except for the fact that if their ideology is to get away from the one thing that they do the best, even Jalen Hurts' rushing touchdowns tells you they're still a great running team when they need to be in critical moments. You don't have a back in the backfield. But as a matter of fact, your so-called collection of backs combined don't have as many touchdowns as your starting quarterback. So that thing by committee has not worked when it comes to running the ball. It worked for 2 games. We're, 9 games into this now. It's got to be a tad bit more consistent. I think it's gone like this, Tone, the run game. And I think it's gone like this, and it's kind of leveled a tad bit at the 100-yard mark. And you're such at a position now this year. I said it a couple minutes ago. This year, the difference between this year's team and last year's team, you're 16-2 combined.
Yep.
Last year, you didn't have any issues where you were. This year, you have no room for you have no margin of error late in games. You make one critical poor throw, you put the ball on the ground, you do whatever. Your comeback capabilities are going to be limited because you know why? Every team you're playing is in those ball games. And when you get closer to the playoffs and into the playoffs, you're playing better coaches, better teams, hotter teams, turnover teams that get turnovers. The one thing the Cowboys do very well, that's turnovers. Okay. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how that game looks in Arlington, but that to me is the difference between 22 and 23. You just don't have you don't have the margin of error this year.
I would agree with that. I definitely would agree the margin of error has definitely shrunken in comparison to last year. I mean, last year they were getting out to early leads very quickly.
And teams had to catch up with them.
Exactly. I think they used to score the most points in like the first and like the second quarter or something like that. They used to unload on teams in the second quarter.
Teams.
But then the problem last year was they would allow teams to get back in it. You know what I mean? And that was kind of an issue. To this year, to me, it looks like the opposite, right? They're kind of starting off a tad, depending on the matchup, they start off a tad slower. And then the second half is kind of when they kind of unleash in that third quarter, fourth quarter. I definitely believe, where they are right now, it's going to be, especially in this bye week, they have some things to clean up, on both sides of the ball. Offensively, I think it's going to be important for Brian Johnson to really go back to the drawing board and really, really evaluate, okay, at what point did the success begin to come? When did things start to, become a little bit more seamless, right? What worked? What didn't work? What do I need to apply to my play calling that can, add some wrinkles to it? And because you have a really, really strenuous stretch coming up. Chiefs, Bills, Niners, Seahawks, Cowboys, the whole nine.
I think they got to up the pressure.
It's going to be really important. Then on the defensive side, you're absolutely right. I think if your front four isn't getting home, I think you need to send at least an extra guy to see what happens. At least one extra. I'm not saying send 7 guys.
Send Dean when he's healthy.
Exactly. Send an extra guy, send somebody. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even be opposed if you sent Sidney Brown on a safety blitz at some point. You know what I mean?
That'd be a great one.
So because he's fast, he comes around that corner quick, man, and whoever he touches, he's going to punish him. So I think he needs to. I think after this bye week, or through this bye week rather, I think Sean Desai, on the other hand, has to really look at his personnel and find out, and really ask himself, am I maximizing my personnel? Am I getting the most out of the guys that I have right now? I think too often they put Sidney Brown and Eli Ricks in some situations that they probably shouldn't have been in. But again, injuries happen, and and that's what happens when you got to put guys somewhere where they're really not comfortable. So I think Sean Desai and Brian Johnson definitely have their work cut off for them in this bye week. But again, it always comes back to this, like you always say, man, you're 8-1, and it's rather to be working on these things at 8-1 than working on them at 5-3 or 4-4.
Absolutely. Can you do me a favor, Tone? Can you pull up the Eagle schedule?
Yeah, sure thing. I got it right
here. Half here.
Yep, I got it right here.
Just give me the next 5 games, because I know the tail end, the last 2 kind of are shitty games.
Okay, so
Giants down there somewhere.
Yeah. So the final 3 games are Giants, Cardinals, Giants. So those are like,
I don't care.
Right. So
Chiefs.
Yeah. So you got Chiefs. You got Chiefs on the road. Buffalo at home.
Buffalo.
49ers at home. You got Dallas on the road in Jerry World. You got Seattle on the road. So I looked at the schedule, right? And me and Rob talked about this as well. If they can manage to go, but they're 8-1 right now. If they can manage to go and in that 5-game stretch, if they can even manage to go 3-2, 3-2 is, in my opinion, the sweet spot. Because I think at minimum 13 is the magic number. 13 wins is the magic number right here. You go 3-2 in that stretch. Now, where are you? That puts you at 11-3. And those final 3 games are all but guaranteed to you. So you win those final 3 games, that's 14-3. But even if you drop another one, if you drop one of those games against those good teams, 13-4, I think that's still good enough to. I think 13-4 is still good enough to win the conference and the division.
If they go 4-1 in that stretch, Jalen Hurts wins the MVP.
That's a hell of a that. No one's talked about it from that perspective. If they go 4-1 in that stretch, can Jalen Hurts win the MVP? If he does that,
he's the MVP.
You got to give it to him.
He's the MVP.
Because everyone's, I'm glad you said that. Yes. And I'm so glad you said that, because all off season, even throughout the season, people have been talking up this stretch, talking up this schedule, saying they have the hardest schedule in the NFL. This next 5-game stretch is the hardest 5-game stretch in the NFL. Now, if he goes 4-1 in this stretch, right, and he doesn't win MVP, it's a contradiction everyone's been saying all year. It's a contradiction.
It just gave me goosebumps. Let me tell you.
This. Yeah. You just really just kind of rattled me up a little bit, because I'm thinking about that now, because I haven't focused on
Buffalo.
I thought about it.
San Francisco, Dallas, Seattle. He's 4-1. In that stretch, it'll define the perception.
It changed everything.
It'll put him in the Mahomes category with how people see him. It'll put him ahead of Burrow. It'll put him in where people want him to finally be in, because you know why? You're winning against the reigning champs, the reigning AFC champs, the reigning AFC East champs, the reigning NFC West champs, the Cowboys,
the reigning
Seattle,
AFC, the reigning AFC. Who was that? The AFC. Seattle made the playoffs last year. You know what I mean? Like, you bring up a
You
good
go
point, man.
4-1 here.
You got
It's a slam dunk MVP.
I did not think about it from the MVP perspective, because
And
honestly,
perception.
this season I haven't really cared about MVP, right? Because I feel like, you know, the league is kind of favoring who they're favoring.
But you want that for him.
But if he goes 4-1, if he all right, let's go through it really quickly, right? Where do you 4-1? Let's just say they do go 4-1, right?
I think Seattle's a loss.
I was going to say Dallas, because the Cowboys and the Eagles
Can you imagine if he sweeps the Cowboys?
If he sweeps the Cowboys,
beat San Fran. Wait a minute. Oh, so wait a minute. Somebody's going to sit around in Chicago, like Arn, who's a voter up there, who I can't stand, but he's got a lot of push. If that guy, it looks at him and then looks at Mahomes, and then he beats Mahomes at Arrowhead, he beats Buffalo, then he beats San Francisco, and he sweeps Dallas.
At Jerry,
drop a tight one to Seattle. You're 4-1, and you've got it. You're whatever the record would be with 2 losses at that time. How are you not? And then you
think they like 15-2 on the season?
It'd be better than a year ago.
Oh my God, Sills.
By the way, I don't even give a shit what his stats are.
Yeah, right. If he wins those games,
wins those games. You want to talk stats? Go get Cousins. You want to talk wins? Go get Hurts.
Sills, man,
he's your most valuable player.
You're giving me chills right now.
Hey,
because everyone is talking about that schedule.
4. You got 5 games right here. Look, the Eagles this year season is a 5-game season, 5 weeks.
It was defined everything.
On how you'll be the number 1 seed. You'll have the number 1 player. You'll have the offensive player of the year. Then what you got to do, Tone, is you got to close the door, of course, because, again, all of that is great and all. But what we're talking about here is, can you imagine this? You win that 5-game stretch, 4-1. You close it off with a Super Bowl. Be the greatest Eagle team in the history of the franchise.
If he does this, right? And again, this is all hypothetical.
I don't think it is hypothetical. I think that's a reality.
No. What I'm saying is it's possible, but we're forecasting, right? We're forecasting.
Yeah.
If that plays out the way we just said, do we have to? We have to put him, not talent, but in terms of impact and just credibility, we got to put him up there with Mahomes, or do we not?
Yeah.
Close, right? Like,
if he wins it.
If he wins it all, with that, and he,
if I'll make this comment to you right now. If Jalen Hurts wins the Super Bowl this year, say versus Joe Burrow, okay, or Mahomes,
right.
and
or
he
Lamar,
wins that Super Bowl,
because the Ravens are hot right now. Ravens are hot.
You could make the argument that the Eagles organization is trending better than Kansas City. And because they got more talent, more younger players.
That KC defense is young, and they got a lot of those
and
they're performing.
They're performing.
Young, performing, and they got a lot of them on rookie contracts. Like Nick Bolton, still in rookie contract. Trip McDuffie, I think, is still in rookie contract. That other corner they have, I forget his name. I think he's still in a rookie deal as well. McAllister.
You know what? I wanted him on the Eagles a couple of years ago. You know what the fan said? He's too short. He sucks. I'm like, that guy started in the Super Bowl.
Man,
he's from Washington.
You bring up some great points, man. Look, I'm looking at this stretch, right? Because now
he wins the MVP.
Let's think about this too, right?
And he'll solidify himself as the greatest quarterback in Eagle history.
Oh yeah, by far. I mean, it wouldn't even be a question at that point. And like I said before, everyone, national media, all you keep hearing is Murderers Row, Gauntlet, Murderers Row, hardest stretch in the NFL. You know, can he go to Arrowhead? Can he beat Mahomes, Allen,
now
Purdy, and Dak in the same stretch?
If you have struggles here, your coordinators will be fired at the end of the year.
So okay, I'm glad you say that.
This
So
is
right
going
now,
to define. This is a defining month
yes,
for a
yes.
lot of people here. Tone is the Angelo. I disagree with Angelo a little bit when he says I don't trust him. You're 8-1. You're 16-2. That's not by happenstance. Okay, I mean, luck is winning when you're 5-4. Personally, no disrespect to you, Tone. Luck is 17. This isn't
No,
luck.
no. 17. The Eagles were a lot of things happened for that to. You know what I mean? A lot of things, a lot of dominoes fell for that to happen the way it did.
Good play,
I'm
good
one of the first to
talent,
admit.
good coaching, and a lot of luck.
I'm one of the first to admit that, right? It's so funny.
There's nothing lucky here about this.
You brought up Angelo Cataldi's point about him not trusting the Eagles, right? And he said something very fascinating, and I have the utmost respect for Mr. Cataldi. He's a legend in this city. One of the most recognizable voices. He said a couple things that resonated with me. One, he said, like you said, he doesn't trust this team because of how things have kind of transpired. And I think for the reasons that he doesn't trust them, I trust them for those exact reasons. And what I mean by that is he doesn't trust them.
Coaches.
He doesn't trust them, because of things have been really close, things have been really tight. They haven't really kind of controlled mostly of anything. It's just been very shaky ground. They're turning the ball over, all that kind of stuff. Yet they're still winning, and they're finding ways to win in these crucial moments. In their situational their situational football execution and IQ is at an all-time high right now. I trust them because they've shown an ability to thrive in these rickety moments. Number two, he brought up the fact that he's never really seen or heard of a defense being ranked where the Eagles are ranked and winning a Super Bowl. And the fact of the matter is, he covered one, and that was the 2017 Philadelphia Eagles.
Patriots had one too that was down in the 20s when they won a Super Bowl too in pass defense too. So I mean, I've seen it before.
Yeah,
it's the one distinguishing thing, if you have a poor pass defense, most of those teams had stout rush defenses, and they were good in the top 10. They hung around that top. See the difference with me, Tone? If you hang around between 5 and 13, you're top 10 defense against the run. Hey, 11 and 10 is a bell curve, in my opinion. Okay, it's not like a golf score. Hey, what do you shoot? 80. Oh, around 80. No, in golf, you either shoot an 80 or you don't. I mean, you know what I mean? There's no bell curve in golf.
Right.
So
the Eagles had the best rushing, by far, the best rushing defense in the NFL, by more than 10 yards, if I'm not mistaken. So they've proven that they can stop the run. And did you know the Eagles have the most pass attempts thrown against them out of any team in the NFL? That tells you that the league sees the deficiencies of the Eagles in their passing. They know they can't run. They know they're not even trying.
I tell you, Bradberry is having a Super Bowl hangover because they've exposed him and they got him. By the way, we're going to move up Bill Moss to 4:30 Eastern.
Okay, no worries.
He moved up.
He has the link, so he should be. All he got to do is jump in whenever.
Yep. So we're going to get him at 4:30. But no, I completely agree. What do you make of this Cowboy thing?
Hold on, wait, my bad, Sills. You just gave me again. I'm thinking about what you said about that 4-on-1. If he goes 4-on-1, I can't stop thinking about that now. If he, because I didn't look at it like that, right? I'm looking at it from the perspective of, okay, go 3-2, win the conference, win the division. I'm not thinking about MVP.
How could an Eagle flag waving guy like you not see that 4-1 stretch? He goes 4-1 in that stretch. This guy solidifies himself.
Because I'm trying to be realistic, right? I'm trying to be realistic. I'm a fan, but I'm trying to be realistic.
How can you not be realistic when you're 16-2?
That's a good point. You're right. Maybe.
Let me ask you one question.
Am I undervaluing the Eagles now?
No. But let me ask you something.
Are you waving the flag now?
Watching Eagle games on Sundays?
Say it again.
Do you enjoy watching Eagle games on Sundays, or do you not? Damn.
I love. Listen. Hear me out here.
How about this? I'll even ask you another one. Are you enjoyable to be in the room with when you're watching an Eagle game?
Not really. I'm very animated. You know how I have a lot of friends that live stream themselves watching the game, and they talk and they commentate, all that kind of stuff. I tried it once. I forgot the camera was on. I can't do it. So for me, if you ask my wife, I'm the worst person to be around when the Eagles are playing. I turn her into my soundboard. I'm sitting here rambling off stats and situational football moments to her, and she's
Are
like,
you hollering at the TV like Senor says?
"Oh, my hollering! I'm screaming to the top." Every week, I risk losing my voice. You know what I do? I have to make tea during the games because I'm constantly animated. Right? The perfect example. That 3rd and 3 call.
Excuse me.
That
Tea?
I gotta make tea, man. I gotta make tea.
Drinking tea?
Yeah,
or like
tea.
smoking tea?
Hey, listen. Next question, ref. Next question. Next question, man.
Your
Next
Honor,
question.
he's leading the witness again.
Next question. One thing I say is, man, like I love watching my Eagles play, man, but I hate boneheaded decisions. And when I see one and I know one, it kills me. Like I said, that whole Cowboys game, it was exciting. And I was like, okay, we're rocking. I can rock and roll with this because I trust this team in the second half. We're down 17-14. We're down 17-14 going into halftime. I'm like, okay, we're good. And all of a sudden, Jalen Hurts does this thing in the third quarter. We're up by 11 points. I'm like, okay, we got this game in the bag. Just keep the pressure on them. That 3rd and 3 call, you want to know what I said to myself in that 3rd and 3 call? I literally said, I swear everything I love. I won't lie to you, Sills. The first thing I said, my wife can attest to this. As soon as the 3rd and 3 call happened, I said, we're losing this game. We're losing this game. We're losing this game.
Oh,
because
man.
those,
you know what I said when
kind of decisions win and lose you Super Bowls. You get what I mean? Like that kind of decision.
I get it.
So, but let's just me, man. I'm animated. I like these Eagles too much. I'm a heathen when it comes to these guys.
4-1. He wins the MVP.
You called it. And James, pull this. Pull that. Whatever.
4-1.
Pull this.
4-1.
That's a hell of a James. I'm telling you, you better pull what we're talking about here, man, because he just dropped the dime. If Jalen Hurts goes 4-1 in this stretch, he's winning the MVP.
Chiefs, Bills, Niners, Cowboys, Seahawks. He goes 4-1. He wins the Most Valuable Player award. It will be the first Eagle since the Super Bowl era to win the Most Valuable Player award.
Now, here's the thing: he has to stay healthy. Got to stay healthy.
I know, and again, that's going to be a massive issue. By the way, flag waiver. I thought you were so full of shit today, going like this. Hey, we're this gigantic, attraction, like your P.T. Barnum and shit. And I'm going like, it's the Cowboys. But I got to tell you, Tone, I looked up the TV ratings for all 9 games.
I didn't say it for nothing. I didn't say it for nothing.
Hey, I'm telling you, man. I mean, the Cowboys have had more number ones. Okay. However, here's you: 3, 6, 5, 6, 4, 3, 2, 2, 1.
We're in the room. We're in the room.
In the room? Are you kidding me? You're one of the highest television shows of the year so far, starting since February.
What did Jordan Belfort say? Sell, sell, sell. Okay, I'm selling this team. Okay, I'm selling them.
Cowboys, man. But hey, all right. Well, let me ask you this.
And really quickly, we're one of the top-rated teams, not for the glitz and glam. We're there because we're winning.
Blue collar.
We're winning.
See,
the Cowboys, they don't have to earn that spot anymore. Jerry Jones has already paid whoever he had to pay. It's already set in stone. He's guaranteed a Thanksgiving matchup every year. But we get there by the muscle. We get there. We get it out the mud, Sills. You know what I mean? That's how we earn ours.
Is it?
We get out the mud.
Okay, let me ask you this here. Man, Kansas City ranked ahead of you. Baltimore ranked ahead of you. Bills ranked ahead of you. Niners ranked ahead of you. Miami ranked ahead of you. Cowboys ranked ahead of you. Eagles at 7. Chargers. Hey, I can't even say this with a straight hey. And then the Bengals at, hey, dude, honest to God, if you want to have an argument with Niners, Baltimore, KC, Bengals, and Eagles on who the better teams are,
Right.
And are one of those 4 teams the teams that could potentially win a Super Bowl? Okay, but the team that's playing the best ball right now is Philly. And why would you come up with a list like that unless you were trying to incite a riot?
Listen,
that's the respect I'm talking about. What that 4-1 means, Tone. See this right here? This index? You could take that index and wipe your gluteus maximus with it. Because if he goes 4-1 versus all your lover teams that are on that list, it seems too.
And his defense isn't as good this year. So, and his running game isn't as stout as it is this year. And he's kind of playing with one leg right now. You know, obviously we're assuming he gets a little healthy after the bye, we get all that kind of stuff. But listen,
ESPN thinks the Cowboys are better than you.
They can think all they want. They can think that they can think that. I think a lot of things, but I know what I know.
They think Miami's better than you.
I think a lot of things. I think I'm the most beautiful man on the planet, but did I win sexiest man of the year?
No. That's Kelsey. That goes to him.
Exactly.
And not Travis either.
Exactly. So my thing is I can think a lot of things. I can feel a lot of things. Oh, I can concoct a lot of things. But what does the record tell you? What did the final score tell you?
You know what, Tone? The record doesn't tell me more than what I'm watching on my eyeball test.
Right.
Watch here. When I look at the Eagles, the record is almost second. My eyeball test says this. You've won 22 of 26. Last 2 years at this point, you're 16-2. That's not a coincidence, man. A coincidence, you know what a coincidence, that's stable, winning, keeping your head down, consistency, all of that. You got to punctuate it with a chip. I get it, and I'm the one pimping that.
I'm with you.
Totally
I'm with you.
Right. However, when you show up to fight a guy every day and you know you're not going to get knocked out, but you're going to be in a great brawl with someone, Hoss, I don't, you know.
I've never seen a team get this much love for losing a game. They lost.
I've never seen a team that has won so. I'll tell you this, Tone. I've never seen a team that's won so much that has been shown so much more disrespect in my life than what this Eagle group has been. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen a team that has won 22 of 26 ball games. I've never seen a team that is 16-2 in 2 years. I've never seen a team lose a Super Bowl by 3, pick their shit up and get back on the train again and keep rolling towards the Super Bowl again. The last team I've seen do this were the Bills and the Cowboys back in the 90s. That's the last, and maybe the Patriots.
And guess what? Sileo? You know what's so crazy about this? And this will be my last point because I know we got to get our guy, Mr. Moss, up here. This is my last point about this thing, man, right? About this whole Cowboys-Eagles thing. Not only did the Eagles win, right? You got people talking about Dak Prescott outplayed Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott was the best player on the field. Why? Because he had to throw the ball more. Listen, let me put it to you this way, right? Jalen Hurts went 17 for 23, 207 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, was sacked 3 times with 130 passer rating, right? No turnovers, right? Dak Prescott, 29 for 44, 374, 3 passing touchdowns. Let me put you this way, right? Jalen Hurts was more accurate than him. He had he had a higher average per attempt than him. They had the same amount of touchdowns.
Say the most important thing.
He got sacked less than him.
He made more situational big plays than he did.
He had a higher passer rating than him. And when his team needed him to get the lead and put the points up, he did that. So, again, who outplayed who really? Because he threw the ball 44 times.
But remember something, Tone.
He lost the game. They act like Jalen Hurts, real quick, Sills, they act like Jalen Hurts threw an interception. He fumbled. He limped through the game. I mean, technically he did limp through the game. And what did he do? Completed over 75% of his passes, 3 touchdowns. Like they act like Jalen Hurts threw an interception. Like he got bailed out by this, then that, and the third. He overcame a bad defense that game. And he won. He still dropped 28 points on the Cowboys. Can we stop acting like the Cowboys are God? They are not.
How about this,
They're
though?
Not.
How about this, though? Okay, all those things you just said. Your coach almost lost the game for you.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's my concern.
That's my biggest concern.
So wait a minute. Tone? All of that, what you said, one play could have cost you that game. Just remember that on this day when I tell you that, he does all those things, and your coach makes one poor mistake and put him in a position to lose potentially, okay?
Yeah.
That to me is my concern. It's not Hurts.
It's
Actually, not even the defense, because the front four is great against the run. Dude, I'd rather be number one against the run than number one against the pass.
I'll take that. I'm with you on that. I've been saying that all week. I'm with you on that. I agree. I'm with you on that. I agree.
You were awesome today, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you as always.
Thank you. Remember, 4-1, Tone.
4-1.
He wins the MVP.
Hey, listen, James, you heard it. Pull it.
4-1, he wins the Most Valuable Player award, and I don't think it's a debate after that. All right. Hey, folks, happy Wingsgiving for November. Our great friends at Hooters. Hey, all the Hooter girls wanted to thank you guys for going into every single one of the facilities from Rhode Island all the way down New Jersey, all the way to King of Prussia. We so appreciate it. And for that, what they're going to do, they're going to put a special each and every single day, Monday through Friday. Ice Cold Coors Light drafts, $2.99, 25 cents goes to a local charity on every purchase. The 2024 calendars are out. I believe 9 of the girls from the Northeast area are in the calendars. They have $100 in coupons. NortheastHooters.com. NortheastHooters.com. Lunch specials, Monday through Friday, 11:30 to 3. Boneless wings, happy hour, Monday through Friday, 4 to 6. 6 items, $6. Try the fried pickles. You will absolutely love them. Military Mondays, 20%. All our great military folks, men and women who have served in our country. Wing Wednesdays, 1983, the year the place was founded. You eat for all you can eat, 1983, and kids eat for free on Saturdays. We so appreciate it. NortheastHooters.com. NortheastHooters.com. Do me a favor. When you go into any one of the locations, tell them Big Sil sent you.
Football and Hooters, the perfect pair.